Oh, man. Oh, David, my sweet, sweet, sweet brother of holy love. How are you?
What a day.
Woo! That sandwich is dangerous.
Whoa.
All right. Enjoy your Russell Wilson.
You're just happy he's not wearing the big blue.
Self-preservation.
Yes.
That's all this is about.
I know. You know you don't like him when you'd rather have J.J. McCarthy than Russell Wilson.
100%.
Yeah, I know.
I'm all in. I don't care.
I know. I got it.
Okay. Listen.
There's going to be a lot of news going on throughout the day, and we have a new one right after Jeremy Otto's update. And it kind of affects the Lions. The Los Angeles Rams have agreed to a three-year, $51 million deal with $34 million guaranteed for Jonah Jackson.
Here's my response. What are you, nuts?
You know what? What we saw, Wilkins is getting a S-load of money. I wanted Christian Wilkins. Not at that price. And for Jonah Jackson, you know, you'll need more money to spend in L.A. The taxes are worse in California. I get all that, but sorry.
What did I say to you Friday?
Yeah.
I said, I like Wilkins.
Right.
He's a good football player who's going to be paid like a great one.
Mm-hmm.
They paid him like he's Chris Jones. We're going to get into the free agency. We'll have a free agency blitz every hour. We are going to get into the Lions at 3 because none of us are going to sit here and tell you that you should have been paying what these teams have been paying.
No.
Or getting involved in these deals. I just, not for these players. But at 3 o'clock, we'll get into it in a more detailed manner. What we need to start out with, it's really one of the most absurd things. The whole situation is theater of the absurd. But if you're a person like Stoney who's all over the social media, or you're a person like me who doesn't even have it, but it gets sent to you, everyone's aware of what went down at LCA with Troy Weaver getting into it with a fan. And look, the audio is not great. It's not. You can watch the video and it's not great. But basically, the context of the video is, and I know, Stoney, you've added a little bit to it where you've said, look, this fan 3 different times heckled him.
Correct.
The third time was the charm. He said, you suck at your job. And Weaver's response is, you're lucky I don't beat your effing A. That's just clown behavior. Come on.
I know. He's got to be better than that. And that's why I kind of think, and I could be completely wrong, that something more nefarious was said in either the first 2 times or before, we should say, the camera got turned on. Because as you know better than anyone, because you made a song about him, Troy's not exactly the most, I don't know, guy with a lot of energy. And that was as energetic as you really have seen him, at least in public, so to speak. And so I'm under the opinion, and I could be completely wrong, that somebody said something that was a little worse than just that you suck at your job, because even though I like Troy Weaver, obviously the results speak for themselves. He's done a horrible job.
All right, so here's where I'm at. Like, I'm going to take a different approach to this. And people, if you agree, disagree, look, free country. There's not going to be any chairs thrown over this. My point is, when you're 70 and 229, shut the hell up. When you're 70 and 229, you know where you shouldn't be? In public. You should be in a Pope-mobile, or you should be in a bomb shelter. He should be watching it away from fans. Private. Because when you're 70 and 229, ain't nobody going to say anything nice to you.
But he's been sitting there, from what I understand, for a lot of his regime, which has not been good. And I kind of think it's kind of interesting, nice, whatever, that he's actually watching the game, in the crowd, not in some highfalutin suite.
When you're 10 and 53, Stoney, you've lost any ability to watch the game out in the open. Look, here's my beef. It's not even with the fan. I don't get the heckling thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but God bless if that's what you want to do. You're Troy Weaver. You have one thing. You smile and you say, that's great. I'm still getting paid in 2 weeks. That's all you can do. The person I blame most, and I don't know if he's awake for the day today yet, would be Tom Gores. Because owners have the ability to either de-escalate or escalate nonsense. The very fact that Troy Weaver's gainfully employed to run, and I use this loosely, run a basketball team into the ground. Mm-hmm. That's the absurdity. You don't like a show on this station. You can get mad at the host. Get mad at the people who sign their checks. You don't like Troy Weaver's a bum. Yes, he is. Get mad at Gores. Well, Tommy Christmas trees in his Skype video or whatever he did.
Right, but they are. I mean, they took your chant to the stands. Sell the team. What else can they do? Maybe not show up. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, whatever. But sometimes you do it like Saturday, you might want to have seen Luka.
I just think at 70 and 229, his mere presence is the most offensive thing.
Oh, Gores? Yes.
No, Weaver.
Weaver just being there.
There's no scenario where this man should be in charge of another draft.
I'm not going to argue that point. The point is that at some point, fans, you can be creative, you can do cool stuff, yeah. But if you don't go up to a guy 3 times in his face and yell something at him or heckle him.
He said you suck at your job.
Okay, fine.
Not ideal. But Mike,
we don't know what else
worse said to you in public.
Yes.
You threatening to fight people?
No, I don't fight people.
That no adult does.
Right, I know. But
besides, that's the best thing that could have happened to the fan was Troy Weaver turning into Soda Popinski for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, and the guy'd be retired.
Right, now he's maybe Joe Dumars are going to come in and fine him or suspend him. You're right, though. It would be nice to hear from the guy who signs Troy Weaver's check to hear what he has to say about this.
But it's just, okay, here's the question we can ask to the people. And again, we'll get to free agency top of the hour. Guys, where's the line for fans? If you say to the GM, you suck at your job, if that is all that was said.
If that was all that was said, I have no problem with the fan.
No, again, if you are hurling obscenities, if you are hurling, how do you classify slurs, or it's just ridiculousness. If you're making threats, gone. But some of this stuff, you're Troy Weaver, you know you are reviled in this town. You're making an open choice to sit there. You don't have to do it, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
248-539-9797. David, you're nodding your head. What do you think of all this?
Me and Kenny are talking, and Kenny makes a great point. You sit here and, okay, you take it, you listen to the fan, and you just get to security, and you tell them, get him out of here. If that's what you really want to do, you don't need to go back and forth with the fan. You don't win by doing that.
Oh, no, it's a horrible look, and he shouldn't have done it. Believe me, I'm not saying he should have done it. But it comes to a point where the fan has to take some culpability as well.
No. Because if Troy's going to sit there.
David.
If Troy's going to sit there, then I'm sorry. People are going to heckle you. People are going to say things.
Okay, fine. But if you were sitting there, would you scream at Troy Weaver's face?
No, because of what I do. Because people will know who I am.
Okay, let's say you were just, I don't know, a
Did
deacon
you just
in
go
a church.
Celebrity pastor on everybody to start the week?
Just a deacon in a church.
Yeah, we got Joel Olstein over here producing the show.
Yeah, you're no name. You're no name.
I would not do it. You're right, Stoney. I probably would not do it.
So you can't just let these idiots off the hook here. They're both wrong in this situation. And like I said, I'd love to hear what was said before the video was turned on by this person very conveniently.
Well, hold on. It was turned on by somebody not that person.
I don't know.
What does he have? 10-foot-long arms? I'm sorry. Is he a Marvel character?
No, you're right. The guy with the Red Wings. The guy. I think it's more offensive to wear a Red Wings jersey in Little Caesars Arena.
Kenny,
for a Pistons game.
So I'd love to know from you, the people. And again, I'm not expecting you to watch the Pistons. No one does. No one can stand them. The only worst product around is probably MSU Hoops. We'll get to that later.
No, there's no other hoop
You
group.
just leave me alone. Let me just stew in it.
We have some more free agent stuff.
248-539-9797. Stoney, go ahead.
The Philadelphia Eagles, despite overpaying for Landon Dickerson, so that was a bad move in my opinion, I think they made a good move. Agreed to terms with Jets edge rusher Bryce Huff. Although it's a lot of money, 3 years, $51 million.
That was my number one target for the Giants.
Okay.
Thanks.
And here's one that's maybe more stunning and also affects the NFC North, the Packers, according to Ian Rappaport, are expected to sign Josh Jacobs.
A.J. Dillon out, Jacobs in.
Yeah.
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
I know, that's why it's kind of weird.
Aaron Jones redid his deal to stay with the team, too.
Yeah.
I'd have to see terms.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if Josh Jacobs is coming in as a David Montgomery type, and that's their 1-2, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
The Bakhtiari thing didn't surprise me. The guy has had a blown-out ACL for 5 straight years. He just never plays. David, a few of the ticket texts while we get some of the phone calls. Weaver versus Fan. Understand, I'm not telling you either of these guys are going to win an award.
No.
I just am more offended by Troy Weaver's mere presence.
Although Troy Weaver may win an award later in the program.
Yeah, I'm very nervous about the segment you have planned, but we'll get to it. David, go ahead.
Troy shouldn't be at the games. He should be in the unemployment line. He really does suck at his job. Tom in Flat Rock. Another person, Tony in Oxford, says Weaver is 70 and 229 as a Pistons GM. Shut up and take your medicine.
That's it. When you make Matt Millen look like Lombardi. When you are 70 and 229, outside of physical violence, threats, or slurs, you don't have any rights. You are, in fact, a flesh pinata. You are just there to be made fun of. I can't change that. So here's what you do. You don't be there. Watch it with people who aren't going to say you're terrible at your job. And by the way, no offense, hundreds of things that are so much worse than that are hurled at David every day. Okay? Just so we're clear while we're clutching our pearls, you suck at your job would be considered the nicest thing that David sees on Ticket Text all day. Wow. So don't get it twisted here. That's really not that egregious. Now, what Mike said is true. If there is more we don't know about, I reserve a right to then flip.
Mm-hmm.
But if you saying, hey, you suck at your job,
that's not enough.
has the GM of the team going, I'm going to beat your F and A and okay, you know what? You're a clown. Stop.
And that's why, to Stoney's point, and we don't know, I would love to see before the video what was said, because it doesn't escalate to that if you're saying you suck at your job.
Oh, and then the fan, and again, you don't know in today's world of camera phones, but the fan's like, what? You're throwing me out for that?
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, either he's the smartest guy in the world where he had the Tayshaun reaction, or it's legit. I don't know. 248-539-9797.